Strange New Worlds is back, and with it, the resolution to last season's Gorn cliffhanger. Hegemony Part 2 has finally landed, and whether you're a long-time Trek fan or just joined for this ride, this episode wastes no time in throwing us right into the thick of it. But before we dive in, I promise no spoilers just yet. This is a spoiler-free moment for us to take a breath and get emotionally ready for what's coming. This episode has ambition. Big, bright, bold choices and some quiet character moments that stick with you. I'll be talking about the good, the bad, and one batshit crazy theory that might just hint at where this season is boldly going. So, grab a Ractigino, settle in, and let's get started. Red alert! Spoilers ahead for Strange New Worlds Season 3 Episode 1 Hegemony Part 2. You have now been warned, so if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and watch it and come back and let's dive in together. So, first of all, I'm recording this before watching Episode 2 Wedding Bell Blues, even though it dropped at the same time. So if my theories sound wild now and are completely disproven immediately, well, just smile knowingly and enjoy the chaos. If I turn out to be right, well, I'll take my smugness with a side of humble pie. Let's begin with what this episode got absolutely right. First of all, what an opener. Hegemony Part 2 hits the ground running and barely lets up. The stakes are high, the pacing tight, and the creative solutions, classic Starfleet ingenuity. Turning the Enterprise into a miniature sun was a stroke of visual and narrative brilliance, sci-fi spectacle, and a practical get-out-of-danger card. It looked stunning, and crucially, it felt like Star Trek. And then we have the Gorn. Oh, the Gorn. This episode expanded on what we already knew of their culture and biology, giving us some grotesque new details like those digestion pods. Equal parts fascinating and revolting. The Gorn aren't just monsters, they're alien in the best way. World-building moments like this really elevate the episode. It's not just about fighting a threat, it's about understanding it and surviving it. And speaking of survival, Captain Batel. Her cure is clever, earned, and mostly Starfleet, were it not for the illegality of it all. It's one of those moments where the pieces do fall into place, and yet she's not out of the woods yet. The script lingers just long enough to make you wonder, what did we really cure and what's still lurking inside? Oh, and how about that escape sequence from the Gorn ship? Tense, grim, and pulsing with just the right amount of horror. The lighting, the music, the claustrophobic framing, it's all beautifully done. This wasn't just pew-pew action, it was intimate, like Trek does best when the danger is close and personal. Now, I need to take a moment to praise Martin Quinn as Scotty. He's absolutely nailed the voice and energy of a young engineer with far too much cleverness for his own good. His dynamic with Pelia is electric, equal parts admiration and subtle exasperation. They've struck gold with this pairing in my view. Pelia's delight at someone who can keep up with her, and Scotty's blend of both reverence and exasperation makes for a relationship that already feels like it's been part of Trek lore for decades. It's joyful, so more of this please. But it wasn't all warp factor 10. My one gripe, and it's a common Trek trope, is how easily genetics are used as a narrative magic wand. Using Una's Illyrian blood to reinforce Marie's biology, it felt a little convenient. Yes, it ties into her backstory, and yes, Trek has done this before many, many times. But the pseudoscience push here stretched believability just a bit too far for me. It reminded me a bit too much of when Star Trek Beyond used Khan's blood to reanimate Kirk and bring him back from death. An emotionally weighty moment, undercut by some fairly loose sci-fi logic. I love Star Trek's optimism in science, but I also like it to respect the science. Anyway, let's now talk about this week's batshit theory. The writing made it clear that Marie Batel isn't completely cured. The emphasis was subtle but very deliberate. And we know heartbreakingly that Pike's fate is coming as well. So the countdown is on. So here's my theory. By the end of the season, whatever's left of this, let's call it a Gorn infection, will resurface in Batel in some way. It may not turn her into a Gorn host or anything of that nature, but it will ultimately lead to her death. A slow deterioration, a last stand, a sacrifice, something tragic. But I do think her death will help Pike accept his fate a bit more easily, just enough to make that final stretch that bit more meaningful. It's a dark prediction, I know, but narratively it fits. It adds tragedy, purpose and weight to both their arcs. And it reminds us that time is never on our side in Star Trek. It's what we do with the time we have that counts. So, what did you think of Hegemony Part 2? Did the Enterprise glowing like a sun blow your mind? Are you rooting for Scotty and Pelia to get their own side missions? And do you think that Captain Batel's fate is sealed, or is she going to surprise us all? I'd love to hear your thoughts, theories and reactions in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It helps the channel more than you can know. And if you're new here, or if you've been watching a while but haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Hailing Frequencies is open every week for Star Trek reviews, deep dives, news, trivia and more. Hit subscribe, ring the bell and join us for this season's full journey into Strange New World Season 3. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind and live long and prosper.